Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video to the channel. Welcome to Friday, which only means one thing. Welcome to Runescape free Marketwatch. So in terms of updates for this week, we obviously had the combat style modernization, which seems so far to have been quite a decent little update. I've still sort of delving around and having a play on the main account to see how it is in terms of Slayer tasks. There was quite a lot of issues off the back of it, which Jagex have highlighted, put their hands up, and they have started to address a lot of them as well, which is really nice. But yeah, pretty decent for that. We also had the outlay for March's update and having Haven Hive coming towards the end of the month as well. And also we've got another blog post about the Aura overhaul, which I might cover on the weekend depending on if you guys want to see it. If you do, let me know in the comments and I'm more than happy to talk over it as well. But pretty decent in terms of the week. We are having fixes, we are having updates, and we've got quite a decent amount of content outlaid for March as well, which is really nice to see. However, we are not here for that. We are here for one thing and one thing only. Welcome to Runescape free Marketwatch, where we go through the Grand Exchange on the homepage, price rises and price falls for this week to pick out anything's up in price, down in price, worthwhile investing in, and money making methods as well. So let's go and jump in and get started on price rises. And if you guys are enjoying the content, please make sure to drop me a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. We are still pushing out the content. We will be back to 2 videos a day to catch up the rest of the subathon towards the end of the month when Haven Hive's released. If you haven't seen, I've done a video breaking down the subathon and everything we got from it. I'll make sure it's linked if you guys want to go and check it out. However, let's go and get started. So we have a plant pot at 2 GP each. The large crate historic component is rose quite aggressively to 13.4 mil. This is something I'm going to be doing a little video on towards the middle of next week. So the reason why this has gone up and gone up quite aggressively is obviously with new changes to the combat system, and different perks are going to be stronger. And one of the things which is going to make very strong perks is Ancient Invention, and one of the things needed for Ancient Invention is historic components. So because of that, this is absolutely flown up over the past couple of days because people will want the best perks possible, and because of that, there's going to be a demand for it. So I'm going to have a little bit of a delve into that. We're going to see what we can do to go and get those items and show you guys in terms of money making video how you can go and cash in on this chance to make a lot of money with components. In terms of other items, we have the Teak Plank at 431 GP each, Magic Wood Spirit 382, Highlander Seed 3.3k, and a Red Chinchomper at 605. Sapphire Rings 1.3k each. We have a Anima Full at 7 GP, Bracklith Stone Spirit 927, and a Gold Stone Spirit at 1000 coins. Grimshaw Vampirism 1.4 mil each. We have the Wyvern Bones continuing to go up 11.9k each, which is very strong for Wyvern Bones. I sold mine at 10.5 I think, so I've lost out on a bit, but again, I've never really seen Wyvern Bones go that expensive, so I can't really moan at that. Grimshaws of Sacrifice 8.4 mil each. We have the small crates for historic components at 1.3 mil, hand cannons 393,000 coins each, and Ancient Gravel up in price 471. Congealed Blood up in price because of the changes they made to thieving. That is now 180 GP each. And a Chaos Roar ability codex is now 115.6. Now, I imagine this is up because, again, maybe it's had a change from the combat update and it's definitely beneficial and worthwhile using. We have Mahogany Logs, 733 GP each, Standard Leather 1.4k. Zerosian Insignia back up in price, 6.6 thousand coins for a free-to-play archaeology item is actually quite strong and quite a strong price, and definitely want to think, keep an eye out for the future, because if Ancient Gravel is as cheap as what it is, and you've got some of the materials in that set being this kind of price, you could make a lot of money. We have a Crystal Flask at 1,000 coins each, Chinchomper Residue 115. We have Raw Burnt Meat at 595 and a Palm Tree Seed at 1.4k each. Raw Beef is 699. We have a Mithril Arrow 29 GP each, a Siku Seed 15.5 and Wergali Seed 411. Vital Sparks, very similar to the Congealed Blood, is going up in price because of the changes to thieving, 147.8k. I am still a little bit surprised how well these survived the whole push on thieving, because these were something which was dropped in considerable more numbers than what the game was used to from the Menophyte Market Guards, and it still didn't implode. Everything else kind of went, but this is something which kind of managed to hold its price to a relatively decent amount. We have the Scrimshaw of Corruption, 7.5 mil there. Chocolate Bars, 359. Third Age Iron, 2.5k each. And Blaster Fusion Boots, 4.7. We have a Rocktail at 873 GP each. Ultra Compost going back up again at 12.5. One of those items you guys need to just do. Just buy the Pyroclast, put it in the compost bin, and then loot it. It's just free money. And then Nodon Spike Harness, 163.5. Varanus' Mercy 262.3. Now, these are items which released from the heist from thieving, and it was one of those items which originally they made untradeable for whatever reason. Who knows why they did it. but maybe they've had a new purpose with the brand new combat update. Definitely one we'll keep an eye at as well, whether it goes up and down, because it's not really had any movement since it became tradable. So it's really interesting that on the sort of week we've had the combat changes, they've gone up in price. We have some Tumikin's armor, but they'll be grossly out of price, because again, they're still relatively new. Same with the Hypno 1 projector. That is just an item which is completely nowhere near what the Grand Exchange says it is. So the Grand Exchange update for items like that will be hugely beneficial. We have Powder Burials, 332.6k. Portable still going up in price, 13.9 for a Brazier, 14.9 for a Fletcher. Hard-bladed Alderman Salvage, 7.2 thousand coins each. And Ascension Bolts, 2.2k. Phasmite continues rising from last week, 4.6k there. Sailfish Soup, 29.5. Primal Abyssal Armor Spikes is 262 GP each. And a Powerful Necroplasm, 590. The Furnace Pyroclast going up in price because the price of the Ultra Compost has also gone up. This is something I would slow buy over time as well, because you'll have a chance of getting it cheaper. But 5.6k for that is a decent price. But if you're buying it for 5.8k and you're selling it for 12k, it's still quite insane in terms of profit. Ladder Pennants up in price, 795.1k each. For Gold Bar still going up, 2.3k there. Again, we've picked this out for quite a few weeks now, that Gold Bars, once you go on to 2,000 coins, are just an instant buy in my opinion, because you just make so much money. So that is a really good one to see there. The XP Capacitator is 2.1 mil. Runes 40 GP each. A Rune Plate Body 22.2. Dracolith 4,000 coins each. And the Roar of Awakening 81.5 mil. Greater Sonic Wave, another item we kept saying is too cheap, you have to pick it up, is now 4.4 mil and rising, so that could go to a high price. And then finally, Magic Seed 29.7k. So in terms of items this week, we still have a couple of treasure hunter items, nowhere near what we've been seeing, a couple of archaeology items, some items recovering from the Thieving update, but more importantly, a lot of things going up in price due to the combat changes. And this is where things like this and changes the game can be beneficial, because it brings in new metas, new besting slots. And because of that, certain items go up in price. Now, in terms of the price falls, what have we got going down in price for this week? So we're going to start with Manuscripture When at now 240.2k. Primal Stone Spirits 15.9, U-Wood Spirit 90 GP each. We have Cosmic Runes at 259 and Dragon Bones at 1400 GP each. That's so incredibly cheap. So if you're someone who does think at some point in the future you want Ancient Curses, you want to train your prayer, 1400 GP each for something you can use Powder Burials for on World 84 is exceptionally cheap and good value. Platinum Stone Spirits 8.5 thousand coins each, Eternal Magical Wood Spirits 8,000 coins, Ascension Keystones 126.9 and a Grimy Toad Flax 2.6k. Coal is 249, a Spring is 4.1k, Eternal Magical Logs 4.2. Now these two are kind of similar, but where I think they rose too quickly. Like, they've got so much time for when they're going to be properly needed. They're just absolutely flown too quickly, so they will balance out later on in time. Astral Runes 419, Pure Essence 52 GP each, Armadillion Yellow 10.2k and a Star Bloom Flower Seed 50.4. This might have been because there was a little bug where if you were pickpocketing Master Farmers, you weren't getting Star Bloom Flower Seeds, so the supply was basically cut. That's been fixed, so that could be why they sort of spiked for a little bit of time and now they're going back down. Flesh Runes 562, we have an Oak Plank at 1.2 thousand coins, we have Bone Rune 380, Bittercap Mushrooms 14.3, the Bow of the Last Guardian dropping 200 mil, 1.9 bill there, Infernal Ashes 524 GP each. These are an even cheaper sort of comparison to Dragon Bones, they're very similar XP. I just think with the Dragon Bones having the ability to sort of just bury them at Fort Frimfree Bank just makes them a lot more viable in my opinion, but if you're looking for an even cheaper option for Dragon Bones, Infernal Ashes are definitely the one. Limestone Bricks 1.5k each, the Gloom Firebow 90 mil, Ancient Scales 574k and a Super Restore Flask 15.1. We have U and Mahogany Frames going down in price. The U frames now 58.5k. I am going to be putting a lowball offer on the main account, probably for around 47k, just in case there's some really low sales on the U frames. It will buy gradually if I leave the offer in for like 2-3 months, and I just think at the minute 58.5k, how good XP the U frame can be is just too cheap in my opinion. So definitely something, even on the Hogger account, we're going to be sitting on them and waiting as well. Terran Godbow 700 mil, Fractured Staff of Armadale 1.8 bill, Magic Logs under 1000 coins again 981. And standard logs 1.1k. So the tier 1 log is beating the tier 80 logs in terms of price. Welcome to RS3. Not skipping tickets 1.1 mil, a Raw Shark is 378, Cannonballs 922 and Extreme Magic's 10.3k each. Dinosaur Bones 14.2k, a Bond is now 104.1 mil. I have seen on Reddit that these are sub 100 mil. Some people have had them buy for 99.9, which means that 7-day bond might actually not be too far away from premium membership. Who knows what's going to happen there? Dark bow 96.5k each, a ring of Vitor is 7 mil, a U composite bow, so a fortunate component currently 900k, bit wild in terms of that kind of price. A hooded subjugation 4.1 mil. Foot wraps of the first necromancer, and quite a lot of the first necromancer pieces actually dotted around. Very, very cheap. I'm starting to think that like first necromancer is by far the cheapest tier 95, and probably the combat method I'd suggest a lot of people who want to get into sort of PVM to go after and try as well. But I've heard from a few things and seen a few things on Reddit that necromancy isn't quite as OP in the new combat system as what it used to be, so that's going to be interesting as well. We have Mud Runes at 929, Dragon King Bones at 12.8 thousand coins, the Manuscripture Big 6.1 mil, the Essence of Finality 55.6, Magical Thread 537k, Aeric Bones 8.7. Now, when you consider that the Wyvern Bones, yes, they've got the use to be used in Super Prez as well, are currently 11,000 coins. These could be something to look into because they'll be considerably better in terms of prayer XP. They just don't have the ability to be used in Herblore as well. We have the Yellow Santa 32.5 mil, Magic Composite Bow 900k, Green Salamander 1.4, and we also have Clockwork 8.3 thousand coins. Still really good profit, but just nowhere near as good as what it used to be. Elder Wood Spirits 11.4, Willow Frame 51.7, Lava Runes 1.4k each, and an Equipment Siphon 225. And then finally, finishing this week off with a Raw Great White Shark at 1.3k. So in terms of price falls, definitely some things to have a look at. There's some bone prices here, Dragon King and Aeric Bones. If you're someone who's going for a high prayer level or prayer XP, definitely worth picking up. A lot of PVM stuff as well dotted through here. It's not just one sort of combat style. We've got magic, we've got range, we've got necromancy. And there's also some skilling items here worthwhile picking up. Keep an eye on those frame prices because when 120 construction's announced, which should be some point this month, those will go up in price because if the player and house update is as good as what it could be, construction will be very much in demand and people will pay a silly amount to be able to fully unlock the player and house. However, I'm going to wrap that video up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really hope you've enjoyed. Let me know any suggestions for content you guys want to see in the future. Go and check out the video for the Summer Farm because it's going to kind of outlay what the plan is for the channel for a little while. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys very soon in the next video.